and welcome to the Rivals of Ixalan Draft League. This is Old Man Poole. We have opened up Ixalan Primal Storm, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be the pick. Not very many cards I would take over this, and I don't think any of them are uncommons or commons, so we're definitely happy to pick this up here. Other reasonable cards in the pack, I have been impressed with Sea Red, although definitely that leaves you open to being blown out if your opponent's playing lots of Expel from Razkas and the like. Impale obviously is pretty solid, Waternaut's good, Moment Triumph's good, Expel is good, Panish Paladin's good. This is a pretty reasonable pack, but I think Ixalan is definitely the biggest powerhouse. Okay, well, ooh, man, this is a good pack. So there's a Merfolk Mistbinder. Our last draft league featured this card to great effect. Crested Herd Caller, which works well with Ixalan. I feel like I've played red-green a disproportionate number of times, but that's probably the pick here. I do like Crashing Tide if you're in Merfolk, and it's okay outside of it. Kitesail Corsair is good. Yeah, but I think that the Herd Caller is most powerful. I don't think it's real likely that you can play a double red Dinosaur Ixalan with a Merfolk Mistbinder. So let's take the Crested Herd Caller and not look back here. Ooh, alright, well, I'm already not feeling bad about our first two picks. There's a lot of cards in this pack that we would like. I might just take Forerunner of the Empire. It's very, very good with Ixalan and with Crested Herd Caller. Crested Herd Caller is kind of a sweet thing, so you can play this on turn 4, and then turn 5, it's a Pyroclasm. It just wipes a lot of the board a lot of the time. I do like Charging Tuscannon too, although I think it's worse than both Forerunner and Hunt the Weak. I'm just going to take Forerunner here. I would like some of this effect, but Forerunner is pretty good. Okay, so our first not particularly exciting pick. We've got Highland Lake, which we could get to maybe be a splash. Don't think a Rozcoraptor is very good. Overgrown Armosaur is fine. We're not, like, we don't have any of the good ramp payoffs yet. We could just take the Erotica Frill back to try and keep our curve a little bit lower. I feel like the Dinosaur deck rarely has trouble filling out the upper side of the curve. But on the other hand, if you get some Knights of the Stampede, you kind of like having lots of this card. I think you can make an argument for the Highland Lake just because of the upside to splash, but I think I'm going to take the Overgrown Armosaur. It's a little bit close, certainly. The Erotica Frillback I could also see being the pick. The biggest problem here is our curve is just pretty high right now. Ooh, Comanda's Awakening. I'm a little bit surprised to see this so late. You do have to hit Ascend before this card is good, but then it is quite good. Drawing an extra card every turn will win you the game in pretty short order. Well, so we can take Charging Tuscannon, which is, I think, better than Stampeding Horncrest most of the time. Could take Sea Red, although the Go Big Dinosaurs deck, I think, wants this less. Also have another Frillback. I'm really worried to get as many 5-drops already, but I think I'm still going to take the Tuscannon. The good news is that I feel like our archetype is probably open here. And is a late Hunt the Week, which is nice. Mutiny I would also play, although I think it's worse despite the fact that it's cheap, which this deck does need some cheaper stuff. I love picking up Evolving Wilds when you can, but I think their Hunt the Week is just good enough out of this pack that we should pick that. Naturalize Armosaur and Woodland Stream. I don't think I'm going to take another 5-drop at this point. I think Naturalize, we're frequently going to get more options. I think I'm going to take the Woodland Stream now. You never know what you're going to open in another pack, and once in a while, just having the opportunity to easily splash into a different color. I mean, that is upside. I don't think the Woodland Stream is going to make our deck very often, but when it does, we're going to be really happy we have it. Well, we could take another Woodland Stream. I feel like red-green, it was fairly open for our first handful of packs. We're seeing a lot of quality blue here. Kitesail Corsair is very good. Deadeye Rig Collar is also pretty good. It's possible we could shift there. I feel like we've got a lot of power in red and green, so I'm a little bit loath to jump ship. Haha, jump ship. I kill myself. Let's see. So I could just take like Deadeye Rig Collar. We could also take Woodland Stream and maybe still enable a better splash. I think I like our red and green enough that I don't want to switch and commit too hard. It's a late Waternaut though too. So Waternaut's an example of a card that we would splash except for that it's double blue, which makes it pretty tough. If it was a 2 and a blue, I think that's something that would definitely slot into the deck. Although it would also make the card just a lot better, and it's already pretty good. Overgrown Armosaur and Plummet being our options here. I guess we'll take Plummet. Again, we have so many 5-drops already. I do like having this card as a sideboard card. it can shore up one of the biggest weaknesses the Dinos deck can have. Yeah, still not really in love with anything here. I guess we'll take Jadecraft Artisan to lower our curve as it is right now. Okay, Orazka Throwback's good. I think Buccaneer's Bravado and Waterknot should not be in this pack, but I don't think Bravado's really what this deck wants either. Okay, we'll take another Throwback here. So it's nice that these couple of cards wield. And even the Stampeding Horde Crest. I think we are in a good color combination. It must be that, like, Vampires is just incredibly overdrafted out of this, because I feel like we saw a lot of pretty strong blue at the end there, and I feel happy with our green-red start as well. I really would like to be able to draft Vampires one of these days, but it feels like the archetype is just never open. I don't know if other people are just overvaluing it, or if it really is the best deck in the format, but it feels like it is never open for me. Okay, so we have Deeproot Elite, which is nice probably mostly just because it's worth a couple of tickets on Magic Online. I think we're going to take Thrashing Brontodon here, though. This is a great 3-drop for the Dinos deck. Just a great 3-drop in general. Well, that's true. We have Bombard. It's kind of close, isn't it? I saw the Brontodon was immediately like, man, this card's great. There's not much that beats it. But Bombard is close. We don't have... Well, I guess we got Hunt the Weak. Also, Forerunner of the Empire that can do a little bit of damage. I'm actually not sure which way I would take this. Brontodon is really good. I don't think it's very often that I'd be like, oh, Bombard gets beaten out by something. Brontodon is really good. And the fact that you can snipe random troublesome enchantments and artifacts is pretty good too. Strength of the pack also a reasonable choice, although our top end's already pretty stacked, so I don't think this deck will need it in particular. I really want to take the Brontodon. This card just feels so good. I think I'm going to take it. Bombard may be correct, but I've just been blown away pretty much any time I play the Thrashing Brontodon. It's just so undercosted. This is a 3/4 for 3 mana. It's absurd. Alright, some good interesting choices here. I don't think Forerunner of the Heralds is really going to do it for us. I do like this card even if you only have a couple of Merfolk, but I'm not hoping to play the Jadecraft Artisan, and if you don't end up with some other Merfolk, it's pretty bad. Swift Warden, though, is pretty good. It's a 3/3 flash for 3 on its own. It's also a Path of Discovery, which I think is kind of a sweet, like, top-end card for a lot of decks, but I think it's worse for Dinos. I think we're already kind of pushing the limits of how high we can keep our curve, and Path of Discovery is something that pays off in the late game. We need good cards that will kind of help us catch up. Shake the Foundation is also powerful, although we don't have any great payoffs right now. Overgrown Armasaur being the only one, really. And Forerunner of the Empire already enables that a little bit. I think we're going to take Swift Warden here. I like picking up things that are a little bit lower in the curve. So Jungleborn Pioneer, probably fine here. Still very low on 2s, but at least we're picking up some good 3-drops now. This card has also been impressive to me. It's a 3 power and toughness over 3, but it does a good job of blocking like the various menace creatures in the format. There's a lot of 1 toughness, 2 toughness creatures that you can trade kind of part of the card for, and even end up with a little bit of advantage after that. Less here. Wow. So I was thinking that black was like overdrafted, but this is kind of a late Sadistic Sky Marcher. Arterial Flow is also good. Tomb Robber is quite good. I mean, this is another kind of late game inevitability type card, but it is a pretty good late game card. I really don't want to know what I want to take out of this pack. I don't like the Jadecraft Artisan very much. I was really hoping we'd get some Knight of the Stampedes, but it doesn't really look like that's likely at this point. Yeah, we could also take Traveler's Amulet, which is more likely to make the deck. Probably the Artisan, even though this card's not particularly strong. Maybe the Traveler's Amulet just has enough upside that we want it. We'd rather have something like Evolving Wilds. Ooh, nice. So we have a Charging Tuscadon, but I think the Knight of the Stampede is actually more important for us at this point. We have a lot of good 5-drops already. Tuscadon's powerful, but I don't think it's like crazy better than something like Stampeding Horncrest. I think it is better, but not by a lot. But yeah, Knight of the Stampede, that's what we want to see. So there's another Forerunner of the Heralds here. We have a couple more Merfolk, like playing Forerunner then going and getting Jungleborn Pioneer is pretty good. This just turns into a 5/4 for 4 mana. It's also a Glint Grove stock, which is a 2-drop, which we really do need. I think the Forerunner is just higher power though. And now that we have a couple of good Merfolk we could collect, I think it's better. You don't need to be heavy in Merfolk for this card to be good. Alright, this is an interesting pick. I think I probably want another Knight of the Stampede over a Colossal Dreadmaw. I do like Colossal Dreadmaw a lot, but again, I think we've got okay top end, and I think we'll have the opportunity to pick up maybe one or two of these guys in our last pack as well, whereas Knight of the Stampede's kind of unreplaceable. Strength of the pack. This is not actually our first pack, so we're going to see the potential to see another one. We have a lot of creatures right now. We could play this just as a way to make everything even a little bit bigger. Do I actually like that? We have so many creatures, which does make it more appealing. Yeah, maybe it's just more exciting than like another Armasaur or Horncrest. I'm not sure it will make the pick, but that's true. Or I could have just picked up another more reasonable card since there was a good chance we were going to see it next pack. I even kind of talked about that. I guess I'll take a Naturalize. I don't think there's any way we'll ever want two of those. Aggressive Urge is fine. Probably okay in this deck. I think Plummet's more likely to be good than Shatter. I don't think Tianelli's Crown is really what this deck wants. Another Artisan? Probably not. I think I'm just going to take Naturalize. We just have like the sideboard suite if we go against a like very good enchantment or the like that we need to deal with. Guess we'll take our stupid rare. And Shatter. Look at these sideboard cards. Absolutely absurd. So, I don't know. Hindsight's 2020. I got a lot of like reasonable 3-drops that pack. I kind of wish that I would have just taken the Bombard, since we do need good removal. Here's another interesting pick. Feels like there's been a lot of those, which is cool. We have Fire Cannon Blast. This is just good removal. We also have Fiery Cannonade. Fiery Cannonade kills some of our creatures, but not really the top end. Cannonade is a nice, like, get out of jail button. Sometimes your opponent just plays like a really good aggressive Vampire's Curve, and you can just Fiery Cannonade and really blow them away. I think, though, I need a Fire Cannon Blast more than what the deck is now. I really would like Ixalan's Diviner or Ixalan's Keeper as well, but we need good removal. There's another Fiery Cannonade. It's also a Fathom Fleet Firebrand, that Thrash of Raptors. We also just take Shapers of Nature here. We have the splash opportunity, certainly. Shapers is pretty good. Is it enough better even off the splash? I think it might be. This is a very good late game card, and if you can play it early on, it's very good as well. Because we already have such a good opportunity off the Woodland streams, I think I'm going to take it. I'm ignoring a lot of 2-drops though. And maybe it's silly to think they're going to wheel. Ooh, nice. So I think Ototepec Huntmaster is the pickup here. Again, I would definitely play an Ixalan's Keeper, but this is nice, speeds out some of our reasonable dinosaurs. I guess we actually don't have tons of the 4-drop slot, do we? Basically none. But we do have like a Rozga Frillbacks, which it can help with, Thrashing Brontodon, and then all of our 5-drops as well. I think Ototepec Huntmaster is where we want to be. Ixalan's Keeper would be good too, but it's got to be one of the more premier uncommons in this deck. Sky Terror's good. I think we're just going to take a Ravenous Daggertooth here. It's another 3-drop. And there's some good blue in this pack. Air Elemental, One with the Wind. Like I said, Sky Terror's powerful. Jade Guardian, I don't really think this is the deck for it, although we saw from our last draft how stupid Jade Guardian can still be. Oh, nice. Raptor Hatchling's pretty dang good. So is Deeproot Warrior, but I think the Hatchling's better. The fact that this is going to be it's just a very good roadblock. A lot of the time they attack into it, they kill it, you gain some life because I was able to block, and then it's a 3/3 thereafter. Just hard for aggressive decks to really get around. Tianelli's Knight, I think probably what we want here. I would still like to play Thrasher Raptors or Sun Crowned Hunters, but again, filling out that 2-drop slot's going to be pretty important. Not a lot for us here, despite there being a good number of green and red cards. There's not very many good ones. Don't like Spike-tailed Ceratops much. Ancient Brontodon, I guess, is maybe in range with Knight of the Stampede, but the payoff's just not even that great. Let's see, take Blinding Fog. Wily Goblin I don't think's real great. I guess it's kind of a ramp card. It also maybe helps us splash. Maybe it's not quite as bad as I was thinking. It's not real exciting, but it's maybe better than Blinding Fog. Maybe it's something we would bring into if my opponent's got like a lot of 1 toughness creatures they're beating down with. Okay, Thrash of Raptors I'm happy with here. So we're definitely pretty high on creatures, which I think is good. It makes me more likely to play Strength of the Pack. Usually Strength of the Pack I think is best actually in Merfolk, when you've got like Jungleborn Pioneers spewing out tokens everywhere. But it may just be fine here. What do we want to cut out of this tech? We're actually not crazy heavy on Dinosaurs, and our curve isn't absurd, so I could maybe cut 1 Knight of the Stampede. I don't think we're ever going to have advantages of having more than 1. If we have... It is really nice to have 1 in play, though. Potentially lets you drop, like, Overgrown Armasaur and, like, a Thrash of Raptors in the same turn on turn 5. That's pretty gross. Alright, so we got both Ixalan's Diviner and Ixalan's Keeper back. I'm actually not sure which one I want more. Ixalan's Keeper I think is a better card. Ixalan's Diviner is just a little bit more defensive, though. Do we have to be defensive? Maybe we're not. We're not even ramping that hard. I think we're just kind of a mid-range deck. Maybe the Keeper's better. And then Thrasher Raptors came around. Yeah, I think we were definitely an open color pair. The only thing I can think of is that other people must have been really fighting over vampires, because I felt like I didn't see very many, if any, good black and white cards, but I felt like green and red was definitely open, and even blue didn't seem like... It didn't seem like it was super overdrafted. Don't really think Trove of Temptation is what we want. I guess I'll take a Gilded Sentinel. I don't really see a world where this gets sideboarded in, but I guess we have it if we need it. Don't like Nest Robber. We're not so desperate for 2 drops, we have to play it too. And a last pick Thrash. It's pretty good. Okay, so I think the deck came together pretty well. We didn't get any like absolutely bomb payoffs passed to us after Atali, but we have tons and tons of playables. I think we do want Aggressive Urge just because we're kind of light on removal, and this definitely helps that. What do we want to cut? I really don't like Sun-Colored Raptor very much. It is a dinosaur, which is nice, but just a 1/2 a lot of the time, unless you really have lots of mana to pump into it. I think playing 5 2-drops is pretty fine. Yeah, we really got hooked up in Ixalan. All of our 2-drops are coming from that. That was pretty fortunate. We even passed a couple early, so we got hooked up a little bit there. I think that Arazka Frillback's probably the worst of our 2-drops. It's kind of nice that it's so cheap off Knight of the Stampede, and it works well with the Otepec Huntmaster, although we're probably trying to go into like Thrash of Raptors if we've got the Huntmaster. So I think let's cut a Frillback, maybe even 2. I don't think we're going to be beating down to the 3-drop as often, so Remnant's Daggertooth actually might be a little bit better. Works better with the Forerunner of the Empire too. I think our 3-drop slot's pretty stacked then. I think I am going to cut 1 Knight of the Stampede. This does give you the opportunity so often to just like toss 2 creature spells out on turn 5, which is very good for catching up. But because we've already got like Otepec Huntmaster and... I don't know, I'm not sure that Knight of the Stampede just really gets us there. Do you think I like Forerunner of the Heralds? This is usually going to be at least a 4/3 for 4, and it always draws you a good spell. Or if you really need to play it out, you don't have to ruin the top of your deck if you need to draw a land. Forerunner's pretty good value. I think we do want Forerunner of the Empire for a similar reason. Maybe cut 1 Thrash. Now we're up to 24. Do we want Strength of the Pack? It does seem like kind of a sweet additional finisher on our top end. And even though we've got good cards throughout, we don't have, other than Atali, like a super big power finisher. So maybe Strength of the Pack is just... I don't know, I have such a tough time evaluating Knight of the Stampede. I'm kind of tempted to cut it here, too. This is very nice sometimes. Like, if you have the opportunity to double spell, it's very powerful. It does cost 4 mana, though, so if you don't have tons and tons in your top end, like sometimes we'll just play like Tianoli's Knight into Daggertooth, and then have like a Knight of the Stampede and a couple other smaller drops. Then this card just looks pretty unexciting. It's a 2/4. But there are other times where you just get up to 4, and then immediately like you drop Atali the next turn, and wrapping that out 2 turns early, or I guess 8 turn early is pretty good. Yeah, I think that there are definitely some of you that are going to yell at me about this, and it may not be correct, but I think I am actually going to cut the Knight of the Stampede. Without ending up with any like Dread Maws or anything really massive to curve into. a lot of our creatures, and we're not even like super heavy dinosaur focused, our top end is. But I think there are going to be times where Night of the Stampede just really is pretty lackluster as our a 2/4 for 4. And I think we don't necessarily need it. We can just play like a kind of a good mid-range curve, and then even if we delay things like Armasaur by a turn or so, I don't know if it's going to matter too much in this deck. Alright, so we're definitely playing both Woodland Streams. I don't think we need to play Traveler's Amulet. We'll just play both of these as our 2 sources for the Shapers of Nature, and then we get to enjoy pretty good mana on top of everything else. So I guess let's pull those in first. Don't think I agree with the draft's assessment here. I think we're actually pretty evenly split. Maybe a little bit heavier on green because Swift Ward and Thrashing Brontodon have a lot of Devil Green cards. Also, Shapers of Nature is nice to have more green in your deck. Don't think I want that much. Maybe like 8 and 9 in favor of green. That probably seems okay, right? Alright. I think the deck is pretty sweet. Got Demise as Shapers of Nature in there off the Woodland Streams. Have maybe a little bit light on removal, but a lot of very quality creature cards just going up our curve. I think we'll be able to run over our opponents with good value creatures a lot of the time. I will see you guys for match 1.